By 2026, personal finance has quietly entered a new phase. Managing money is no longer just about discipline, spreadsheets, or watching market charts all day. Artificial intelligence has slowly embedded itself into budgeting, saving, forecasting, and investing. Almost every finance app today claims to use AI, but very few people actually test what that means in real life. That's why I decided to run a real-world experiment instead of relying on reviews or marketing promises. For 30 full days, I used 5 different AI finance apps simultaneously. I connected the same accounts, followed their recommendations, allowed automation where possible, and interacted with them daily. I didn't try to beat the system or selectively ignore alerts. The idea was simple. If AI is truly useful, it should improve financial behavior naturally without forcing extreme effort. Over the course of the month, I carefully observed how my spending habits changed, whether my savings improved, how useful the AI insights were, and how realistic each app felt for everyday life. Some apps quietly worked in the background and improved my finances without stress. Others demanded attention but didn't deliver meaningful results. And one app made me realize that AI-powered doesn't always mean intelligent. By the end of the experiment, ranking them became very clear. This app made a strong first impression. The interface was modern, the visuals were polished, and every screen emphasized advanced artificial intelligence. It felt like a premium financial product designed for serious investors. During the first few days, I explored its dashboards and analytics, expecting deep insights. However, as time passed, a major weakness became obvious. The app showed a lot of information but very little guidance. It tracked spending, displayed charts, and highlighted trends, yet most of the insights were surface-level observations rather than actionable advice. Over 30 days, this app didn't change how I behaved with money. It didn't challenge my habits, automate improvements, or guide better decisions. Instead, it acted more like a passive observer, recording what I did rather than influencing what I should do next. The AI rarely adapted to my behavior in a meaningful way. By the end of the experiment, my savings, spending patterns, and overall financial clarity were almost identical to where I started. The app wasn't harmful, but it failed to justify its intelligence. It proved that good design and data presentation alone are not enough to improve financial outcomes. This app had a very different personality. From the moment I connected my accounts, it focused heavily on spending discipline. Every transaction was monitored closely, and the AI responded quickly whenever my expenses crossed certain limits. Throughout the month, it sent frequent alerts pointing out unnecessary spending and reminding me when my habits didn't align with my goals. At first, this felt uncomfortable and even irritating, but after a week, the impact became noticeable. I started becoming far more aware of small daily expenses that usually go unnoticed. Random purchases, subscriptions, and impulse spending suddenly felt intentional instead of automatic. This awareness alone helped me save more money than usual. However, the app struggled with nuance. It treated all overspending the same way, regardless of context. Necessary expenses were sometimes flagged as mistakes, which made the experience feel rigid. By the end of 30 days, I had improved my savings, but using the app felt mentally exhausting. It works well for people who need strong structure and accountability, but long-term use could feel restrictive. The third app focused less on controlling behavior and more on predicting outcomes. Instead of reacting to every transaction, it analyzed my financial history and projected where my money was heading in the future. It showed scenarios based on my current habits, allowing me to see how small decisions could impact long-term results. What made this app powerful wasn't perfect accuracy, but perspective. Seeing future outcomes visually changed how I thought about money in the present. When I spent unnecessarily, I could immediately see how that decision affected long-term stability. Some forecasts felt optimistic, while others were conservative. but the general direction was clear. This app didn't force me to save more, but it encouraged smarter decisions through awareness. By the end of the month, my finances hadn't dramatically changed, but my understanding of consequences had improved significantly. This app is best for planners who want clarity rather than strict control. This app surprised me the most because it didn't try to impress me at all. There were no flashy charts, no constant alerts, and no aggressive recommendations. Instead, it focused on automation and consistency. Once set up, it quietly handled savings and optimizations in the background. Money moved automatically, investments adjusted without emotional interference, and progress happened without daily involvement. The biggest strength of this app was that it removed effort from the equation. I didn't need motivation or discipline because the system handled everything for me. Over 30 days, this app produced the most stable and stress-free improvement in my finances. The gains weren't dramatic, but they were consistent. This app proved that in finance, boring systems often outperform exciting ones. For long-term investors who prefer calm progress over constant decision-making, this approach works exceptionally well. The final app combined everything correctly. It balanced automation, insight, and flexibility in a way that felt natural. Instead of forcing strict rules, the AI adapted to my behavior and explained why certain changes mattered. It provided guidance without overwhelming me and automated smart decisions without removing control. Over the 30 days, I noticed clear improvements. My savings rate increased, my spending became more intentional, and my investment decisions felt calmer. The app didn't just manage money, it improved my mindset. It reduced emotional reactions, removed unnecessary complexity, and created a sense of structure without pressure. By the end of the experiment, this app stood out clearly as the most complete AI finance tool. If I had to choose only one app to keep using long-term, this would be it. After testing 5 AI finance apps, one thing became very clear. AI is not a shortcut to guaranteed profits, and it does not remove financial risk. What it does remove is inconsistency, emotional decision-making, and laziness, the 3 biggest enemies of long-term wealth. The best apps weren't the most complex or aggressive. They were the ones that fit naturally into daily life and quietly improved behavior over time. AI does not replace financial discipline, it supports it. In 2026, the smartest investors are not the ones chasing hype or predictions. They are the ones using AI as a tool to stay consistent, calm, and intentional. The future of personal finance doesn't belong to machines. It belongs to people who know how to use them wisely. If you found this experiment useful, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel reach more people who are trying to get smarter with money. Subscribe if you want more real, no-hype experiments where we test AI tools, investing strategies, and finance trends in real life, not just in theory. Comment below and tell me which AI finance app you're currently using, or if you'd like me to do a 60-day version of this experiment with just one app. And if you know someone who's confused about AI and money in 2026, share this video with them. It might save them from making expensive mistakes. More experiments are coming, and the next one goes even deeper.